Hey, what's up? My name is John Bonjour. I'm a comic artist and film enthusiast. I've drawn some art and I would like to enthuse about some film today. We're talking about Sinners. So Sinners was directed by Ryan Coogler and it stars Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld, and a series of other really impressive people. Just a phenomenal cast in this movie. This is a movie that I had heard so much about going in. I actually didn't end up seeing it opening weekend, not because I wasn't interested. I thought it looked very good, but just because the money's a little tight, and it was like, I don't know if it's gonna be worth it. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to record a video, whatever. All of these excuses. I heard enough good things. I heard enough ridiculously good things that I was like, okay, I have a YouTube channel for movies. I feel like I should probably go see this. But even then, I'll be honest, I set my expectation pretty low because this has happened before, where I go into a movie that everybody else says is absolutely brilliant and just phenomenally good, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, it was fine. This is not one of those times. Not only have I forced time into my schedule to watch the movie, I also forced time to draw the art, make the video, and now post the video that you're watching, because this movie is easily the best movie of the year so far, and it's not even slightly close. And also, I will 100% go on a limb here that's a pretty sturdy limb. This is definitely going to be in my top 5 of the year. This is something that's so rare and awesome to see. So rarely in life do we get a movie that is both profoundly well made, just brilliantly created on an artistic, creative level, and also entertaining as hell. I'm trying to think of other movies that would even fit in that category. All I can think is like Mad Max, Jurassic Park, maybe Blade Runner 2049, but even that has its downsides of being a little bit slow. This is just a brilliant film. There is not a single wasted second. Every actor cast for this movie brings it 100% of the time. And I was locked in from the very beginning. This movie opens, and I'm going to talk some spoilers, so heads up. If you haven't seen it, please don't be like me. Go see it as soon as possible. Well, I guess I did see it, so be like me. See it, but don't be like me and have waited. Go back in time, watch the movie opening night, I guess is what I'm saying. Point being, I was locked in from the very start of this movie. The first 10 minutes of this movie really set the language of the film. It really tells you how to watch it, how to experience it. Not only from the perspective of just like opening with this voiceover saying like, hey, music is a connection to the dead and to the past and the future. Be on board with that. Also, there's evil in the world. So there's that, and that's already like, from that second, I was intrinsically interested. But also opening with that church scene, having Sammy gripping the guitar, being told to let go of it. It sets the tone, the themes, the emotion of the movie. It immediately gets you interested in character. It also sets some of the religious themes, which I think are brilliant. It locked me in so hard that by the time I realized that we hadn't gotten any vampires, we were already in Vampire Town. And that's the thing about this movie. It is majority not a vampire movie. I assume, at least it feels like it's not. I'm not sure runtime wise. Most of this movie, the grand majority of at least the first half of the movie is spent establishing these characters. Smoke, Stack, Sammy, all of their relationships with this town in Mississippi, all of the people involved, why they want to set up what they're making, why they want to make this juke joint, why they care about this, why they might not be completely believable or trustworthy in that goal. All of these things are set up in such an eloquent, brilliant way that I forgot we were watching a vampire movie, which is crazy. This is the antithesis of From Dusk Till Dawn, which if you've seen that movie, in my opinion, that is a pretty bad, kind of gross, just over the top, no reason to be the way that it is kind of movie, and then a pretty fun vampire movie. Whereas this is an artful, well-crafted, brilliantly made film, and then an extremely fun vampire movie. Speaking of intro and cast, Michael B. Jordan really is phenomenal as both Smoke and Stack. And just in the first, again, I'm pretty sure in the first 10 minutes, we have this opening shot where we're introduced to Smoke and Stack. And my first thought was like, oh right, Michael B. Jordan's playing two people like The Parent Trap. Is that gonna work for me? Like, am I gonna be on board with that? Am I gonna care? I wasn't sure. I wasn't really set in that decision. And that opening shot is basically the movie barreling down the camera and going, yeah, I get that you're concerned about this. Shut the hell up because it's gonna work. The way that they've integrated these two performances by the same person is truly breathtaking, and it really hit me when they passed the cigarette to each other, which was already crazy because I was trying to figure out how that happened. And then one of them, I don't remember which one was on one side or the other, takes the smoke, blows it out, and it passes in front of the other guy as naturally as could be, and it didn't look like CGI smoke. It looked like it was just there. And y'all, magic is real. I genuinely don't know how they did that, to the point that almost don't want to find out, because it's so impressive to me. And throughout the whole movie, Michael B. Jordan has incredible chemistry with Michael B. Jordan. And the fact that it never felt like a gimmick in this movie is indescribably cool. It's just this thing. There's so many elements to this film that would so easily be flat and shallow and kind of kitschy and a little schlocky. And none of those are bad things. I love a good schlocky vampire movie. But the thing that I'm so taken with by Sinners is the fact that it's not. It is a vampire movie, it is a character movie, and at no point does it apologize for either of those things, but it also doesn't lean into the fun, the innate comedy of the idea of vampires. It doesn't lean into this feeling of like, well, you know what you're in for. It's a vampire movie, so when it switches over into a vampire movie, it doesn't lose any of the depth. It doesn't drop that feeling of emotion that it had every right to. And I think it's all the better for it. It's the kind of movie that I expected to walk out going, yeah, that was a fun time. I enjoyed that. Death of a Unicorn is a perfect example of a movie from, I'm pretty sure, this year that feels exactly like that. I enjoyed that movie. It's a very good time. It's very Jurassic Park coded. It's a fun time, but I also don't find myself thinking about that movie a lot. Sinners is the exact opposite. Well, not the exact opposite. It is also quite a fun time, but I am going to be thinking about it for so long. I feel like I would be remiss if I didn't point out that the linchpin of both of these films that are kind of shoved into this one film, there is one sequence that is essentially the transition point between the two movies. And I don't even know what there is to say about that sequence. It's the scene where Sammy is playing his music, he's connecting with the past and the future, and we're flying around this room, seeing all the historical people, all the future people, watching generations of culture and people come together and collide on this one moment. It pans up, there's this loud screaming, singing, the barn burns down. All of this is potentially metaphorical, potentially physical. I think, but the point that I'm trying to make is that this is a wholly surreal scene that is truly breathtaking. I was genuinely crying, like just every once in a while this will happen, where a movie will just make me cry because it is so well crafted and so. I'm trying to think. I don't even know what words to put to this feeling that I have, but seeing Dune for the first time is one of those movies that made me just be like, how is this possible? When I'm confronted with something so undeniably artistically beautiful, my natural reaction is just to weep like a little boy, and boy howdy did I. It's one of the most amazing scenes in a movie. I want to just hold on to the feeling that gave me. And it really does serves two purposes, and there's a lot of things in this movie that do, but it serves two purposes. One, it really is just this brilliant reminder of culture and the stakes and what's important and why there's depth to these characters and what makes them matter. I mean, not that culture is what makes them matter, but just that they're part of something bigger. And also, it really does serve as this beautiful kind of grease the wheels between the two movies. Because I think if you had this character study right at the beginning, and then it just hard cuts to a vampire movie, it might work in a jarring sense, but it would feel a little bit like you're letting go of something. That sequence almost feels like it's resolving some of the character arcs. It's connecting some of these pieces and also going, okay, for the rest of the movie, we're going to do some weird stuff and you got to be on board. And I completely was. It's such an impressive scene and it's one of those things that I could never think of. And I love those things. I love when a movie shows me something I've never seen before that I never would have even considered doing ever in a billion years. That's what's so cool about film. And that's what's so cool about Sinners, is that it has the opportunity to do that kind of thing. Speaking of splitting two halves of thing, I would love to just real quick take a second to say, please read my comic book, Edge of Bordertown. It's on my website, johnbonart.com. That's pretty much all I have to say. It's 100% free to read, and it always will be, and it's about an apocalypse. It doesn't have anything to do with this movie. I just want you to know that it exists, and I hope you read it. If you do, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Anyway, back to the video. So the vampire movie is insane. Again, with this feeling of this should be, for all intents and purposes, flatter than it is. It shouldn't have the depth, it shouldn't have the intrigue that it does. Vampires are supposed to be inherently evil, and they are. In this movie, they are the antagonists. They are described in film as evil, but they also have this element of familiarity. They have this combined hive mind thing where they've found a semblance of peace, or at least they're pretending to have found a semblance of peace. It's unclear to me, and I think the movie leaves it slightly ambiguous intentionally, whether or not being a vampire is a good thing for these people. I think it genuinely depends on which character it is. Some of them handle it really well, some of them kind of are breaking at the seams and not sure what to do. And there's this interesting dynamic where you feel a little bit bad for the vampires, and that really threw me off because I'm so used to seeing these heartless, unambiguous characters, and I really wasn't prepared for them to feel sad that they lost one of their family members. And also for the other side to feel sad that they lost one of their family members. There's so many things going on in this movie, and it really is just a masterclass in tone, because I never felt like one thing didn't fit in the movie or the other, and they bounced around in a lot of directions for a lot of the film. It's really amazing. It is also a very genuinely scary movie. The vampires are very good. They are also extremely creepy. They have this great sequence where they're all dancing in a circle. I think they touch just a little bit, just enough on what the history of these vampires might be to make you question it, but not so much that it's like, okay, now we know all the lore. It balances what information to tell you at what time. It drops little hints at things. It suggests things. It gestures in the direction of ideas, and then sometimes those ideas come back into play and sometimes they don't, and it makes the world feel lived in and feel natural in a way that I wasn't prepared for at all. My last thought on this movie, I promise we are so close to being done. I genuinely appreciate that this was not a racism bad movie. I love when a movie can be more than just the obvious comparison point. It's almost like the movie is saying, yes, racism absolutely exists, and it is a problem, and it's a thing, and it's important to touch on and deal with, and also there's other evil in the world, and there's a lot more going on. There's this acknowledgement of racism, but also I appreciate that it's not allegorical. It's not directly allegorical one for one, to the point that the movie does end the action anyway with this coda of one of the characters just slaughtering a bunch of KKK members, which awesome. That was just a phenomenal scene. And again, it's one of those things that operates on two directions. One, it really does acknowledge that, like, yes, obviously racism is bad. That should go without saying, but it doesn't, because it's a broken world. But also it operates as this release of tension from the entire movie. It serves the audience in this way that there's a pure entertainment and also just relief sense at the end of this movie that wouldn't have necessarily been there because they just kind of survived the vampires. They didn't have some big moment where they tricked them and brought them all into the sunlight. They just had this confrontation and it just ends. I think it's really great that there's also this secondary coda where it's just like, and then we are gonna go kill some racist people, because yeah, like that's probably, at this point, after what that guy's been through, that seems like about the right reaction. And then after that, where the movie could have left us on a simple feeling, he dies. Again, spoilers, we're gonna talk about spoilers. He dies and he goes to see his wife and child in heaven, but not before he like blows this guy to pieces. It's this tonal balance that I think is so impressive and is so unique to this film that I just cannot get over. Sinners is I can't think of more words to say about it. I can't think of more description words to say that it is the best movie I've seen this year and the best movie I've seen in quite a long time. Ryan Coogler absolutely crushed this movie. And my immediate thought leaving the theater, and this is just because I'm a Marvel fanboy, was thank God Ryan Coogler didn't make that Blade movie, because we probably never would have gotten this, and Marvel would never have let this kind of thing go through. And that's okay. Those are for two very different purposes. One is supposed to make you think and ponder and also entertain, yes, and struggle with some concepts. The other is just a fun popcorn movie, and there's nothing wrong with either side of those things. But if Coogler had made the Blade movie, I don't think we would have gotten Sinners, and that would have been a downgrade. If you have not seen Sinners and you're watching this video, please go see Sinners, because it really deserves the money. It's an original film. It's it's just a good movie. It doesn't even, who cares if it's original? If it's a brilliant film, go see the movie. It deserves your money more than some other things that may or may not be out in theaters right now. And if you have seen Sinners, what did you think? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video and checking out my channel. If you'd like to hear more of my thoughts on movies, comics, TV shows, vampires, that's pretty much all I got. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and comment down below which you'd like me to review next. Or do none of those things because I am not your dad.